mind seeing people talking about this red and blue button situation here on Twitter. It's really kind of blowing my mind. So I want to just go ahead and go live and explain exactly what my thoughts are on this because I literally can't believe it. So I'm gonna let people file into here as I'm going along, but I just really to get straight to the point. You should obviously press the red button. Like painfully obvious. Okay, but let's back it up here. Just to quickly explain to anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there's a alleged moral dilemma scenario that's being questioned here on Twitter. It started, I believe, with Mr. Beast's profile, where essentially this is how it goes. So you got a red button and a blue button. And if you press the red button, then nothing happens. Like you don't die, right? But nothing happens to you if you press the red button. If you press the blue button, then you will die unless over 50% of the people press the blue button. So you press the red button, nothing happens to you. But for the people, of course, who pressed the blue button, you increase their chances of them dying. So this is the moral dilemma that's been presented. And people are saying that they would press the blue button because they want, they say they would rather die than let humanity perish or have to see other people die because of their choices and all the things of that nature. That anybody who presses red is evil. And it's like, even in the way that I presented the dilemma to you, for anybody who watched that, you come to see that like there's really only one obvious answer, and that would be pressing the red button because literally nothing happens unless people start deciding to press the blue button. Literally, from the very base of the scenario, the only trouble that could ever possibly happen is if somebody presses the blue button. But people surprisingly, so Tim Pool is a perfect example because he made a video where he mentioned this. It's not a full video about it. It's the one that's titled "They Got Him" because he has all these stupid ambiguous titles now. But essentially, he was saying, my first mind was, of course, I'm going to press the blue button because I want to save everybody else, and I'd rather die than to be the reason that somebody else is dying. And it's just like today is one of those sobering days where you realize how stupid everybody else, like humans, the average person actually is. Because it's not even a real moral dilemma. Moral dilemma is a situation where it's really like a lose lose, right? But if you press the red button and if everybody presses the red button, nothing bad happens. So, and I understand in the scenario that they're giving, maybe they can add the additional factor that everybody is sequestered and they don't know what other people are choosing. But even if I didn't know what other people were choosing, I would choose red. Not because it's like save myself. Oh no, no, choose blue. I don't want to die. It's literally the only option. Who am I talking to? Oh, are you saying because I'm not like looking at the camera? Should I be looking at the camera? Kind of like go with a stream of consciousness whenever I'm talking. So I kind of look off in the distance. Maybe that's a bad habit. I should look directly in the camera. But anyways, that's kind of funny to say. Who are you talking to? But like I was saying, dude, so I immediately so I was first introduced to this when I watched the Tim Pool video because I watched most of his videos. But what you call it? So as I'm watching the video, I obviously hear the dilemma, and he talks about how he immediately would choose blue. And before he even said that, I was like, okay, I thought I misheard something because I was like, I mean, pressing red is too easy of a choice. There must be something that I'm missing to it. And upon reinspection, sure enough, it turned out that no, that's the full and honest truth. So I say all that to say that for an alarming amount of people have chosen blue as the option, and I don't feel like we can coexist with people like this. I'm not saying that we need to do anything like to these people. It's not like I'm not saying violence or like genocide or anything like that. Um, but maybe at least not making babies with them moving forward, because we cannot continue to have, I don't know, I personally cannot coexist with people who are that stupid. And there it I this situation, people say stupid things all the time, but the thing that pisses me off so much about this is the egotistical intention of like trying to be this selfless hero, that you're being so stupid that you're actually putting people, including yourself, into danger by making the choice that you're choosing. Thank you so much, Hannah Escobar. I really appreciate you for liking and subscribing there. If everybody else, you guys can give a shout out in the comments section. Let me know where you're watching me from. City, state, you know. Country if you're not in America. But I'm talking about this moral dilemma that's been presented online. I'm going to run it back for you guys one more time since I've got, people in here right now. But the ultimate scenario that people are talking about online right now is basically you have a red button and you have a blue button, right? Awesome. Awesome. What city? What state? You got a red button and you got a blue button. If you press the red button, nothing happens to you. But if you press the blue button, you will die unless over 50%, over half of the people press the blue button. So you press the red button, nothing bad happens. You press the blue button, you will die unless most of the people, over half of the people, press the blue button. And once again, to me, obviously, no brainer. Press the red button. If we all press, whether we're all in one room together, we can say, hey, if we all just press the red button, nothing happens to us. Or whether we're off and alone, I'm like, okay, well, pressing the red button is the obvious choice from the answer. It's an objective answer. It's actually an objective answer. So yeah, I thought that was going to be what everybody else was saying, but you go online. I bet you go on Twitter right now. Well, stay on this live here. If you have to leave the live to go on there, don't leave me. But when we're done here, go on Twitter and see all the people talking about it and talking about, not only are they talking about how they'll sacrifice themselves for everyone else by choosing the blue, but they're actually condemning and calling people evil for choosing the red. And this is what I mean about us not being able to coexist, because once again, taking this back to my answer before I even knew what other people were saying, when I was just immediately introduced to the dilemma in my head, there was no other option but red. It didn't occur to me that there was a possibility that there could be human beings who literally thought the exact opposite of what I was thinking. Like people who literally were going to say that what you call it? I keep looking over to the right here because it's just like it's easier for me to talk that way. I don't know. I have no problem looking at the camera, but it's just weird looking at the phone. I'm just seeing myself and my mouth moving. But I guess I got to get used to it. But anyways, it didn't even occur to me that somebody could possibly think other than me. And to see that not only are people, well, take it easy, Hannah. I'll be doing more lives here, so I appreciate you for popping in. Thank you for your subscription. Um, but yeah, it didn't even occur to me that people could think in that other way. So finding that out, and then finding out that they were literally calling, like thinking that people who thought like me were like bad for that. It just absolutely blew my mind. What are you guys saying? Button my shirt up. It ain't that great. I got a little what's it called? A little ground beef there, a little chest hair, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I just threw this on so I can go live real quick. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's actually pretty hot in here right now. I gotta do some. I'm working on my air conditioner, so that's too much information. But I'm saying all this to say that, man, I I was literally blown away today. I was so blown away that I had to come and talk on live about it, because I hope that you guys understand that we live around people who are, one, they have suicidal empathy, and two, They are completely irrational. They are they're not prudent individuals, and they're very stupid. And that is very dangerous. And we have to have what? Oh, that was quick. We have to have a realistic conversation about how to deal with this. We cannot. These people vote, man. These people vote. They're presenting like literally, these people are presented an easy question, an obvious answer. It's very objective. There's no subjectivity to it whatsoever. And they choose it wrong and they condemn people for choosing the right answer. Those people vote. They choose in part who our leaders are and what our laws are and what happens to us in America. And it's patently obvious in pretty much all other aspects of life how batshit crazy and really stupid a lot of people are. But this is one of those examples that's so solid that it was just like honestly it was a little black pilling to me. Like I saw that and it's just like I said I mean you can see I'm just talking about it constantly because I had a visceral reaction to seeing something like that. It's truly disturbing and I'm legitimately worried now because I have to think part of me almost wants to like I want to ask my coworkers like I you know what I'm saying like everybody in my life I kind of want to ask this question to and see what they say without giving them the answer because it should be obvious and but it's like I'm scared bro if people say blue and try to defend that shit to me like it's going to be so I'm going to be very distraught. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's actually Bugatti. I got it back in like 2017 or something like that. I got it a long time ago, but it's one of my favorite shirts. Lasted a long time. It's very well made. Pretty sure it was made in like Bangladesh or some shit like that. I want to say, but yeah, I appreciate that. So, I mean, I could really go on and on about this topic forever, but ultimately, I think that people who chose red need to take notice of people who chose blue, and we need to actually either, if you care, like if it's somebody you care about personally, try to counsel them the best that you can and really try to make them understand. Um, right now, hopefully, bring some friends. Tell some friends to tune in. But what's up? So, what do you think? Actually, what do you think about what I'm saying here? Have you been paying attention at all, Hannah? What's your opinion on the dilemma? What do you think about it? Okay, that's fair. Yeah, but you know, it's just something that really stood out to me. So I encourage you, Hannah, and anybody else who watches this right now or later to take some time to think about this and think about why red is the obvious choice. Because even though obviously this is a silly situation, there's not ever going to be a time in your life where you press a blue button or something like that and you choose whether people live or die. But we put ourselves through these mental exercises so that we can actually prepare ourselves for making difficult choices in potentially lose situations where we need to mitigate the loss and destruction and there's no answer. Oh, you're 8 years old? Wow. I'm talking about some things that are, pretty high level for an 8-year-old. So, shouts out to you for tuning in and yeah, why? Where are your parents at? They don't like. Are you watching me on the TV or am I on your tablet or something? Tablet. That's cool. And you can spell tablet. That's pretty cool. 8 years old. You know how to spell tablet. Hmm. iPad kid. So you know what that is? How do you know what that is? And if you're 8 years old, what does that mean? You're in like the what are you in like the second grade? Pretty sure 8 is the second grade. Nice. Yeah. I remember the second grade. The second grade for me was in 2001. Isn't that crazy? I will never forget second grade because obviously 2001, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but that's the year that 9/11 happened. So I very much remember being in my classroom when the event occurred and we all had to sit down and, kind of wait for our parents to come pick us up. And they, were not really telling us what was happening. We turned all the lights off. I remember that. I don't know. I don't know what that was supposed to do. They made us sit in the middle of the floor and turn all the lights off. It's like, okay, well, if planes are crashing into buildings, I don't know what turning all the lights off is going to do, but that's what they made us do. So I don't know. I don't know if you know what 9/11 is. I maybe don't look it up if you don't know what it is. I don't know when they would teach kids about something like that. It was a pretty terrible thing. You're gonna learn about it one day. It's was a bad day in American history. But I that's how I know I was in the second grade. I remember who my teacher was and everything. I'm 32 now, if you didn't do the math. But yeah, I mean, I thank you for hanging out with me here. I really only popped in to you know, go over that situation there. Ask your parents about what I was talking about. And I'm sorry I cursed here. I wouldn't usually curse when a kid, is around also. Maybe show your parents this video. Because, I would be interested to see what they say. Maybe they'll have a conversation with you about it. Maybe they'll tell you to stop watching that weird guy on YouTube, probably. But yeah, either way. But yeah, I think that I'm gonna go ahead and bounce up out of here. I got some things to get taken care of. Like I said, I was just popping in here to go ahead and speak on that real quick. I thank everybody who liked the video, everybody who subscribed. I'm sure I'll be seeing you in other lives here, Hannah, now that you're a subscriber, maybe. But yeah, have a good rest of your night. Get some dinner, get some rest, go to school.